The birds be talking to me, brothers and sisters. I'm telling you, these birds be talking to me. Every time I come, the birds be here. That's that divine protection from the feminine energy. How is a migrant police officer in Chicago just got to America, don't know the laws or the norms or nothing about America, can't even speak English? How in the hell can he or she be a police officer in a black neighborhood? Can somebody talk to me? The Purge is real. I want everybody to rewatch the Purge movies. Don't pay for it, get the bootleg. I want everybody to rewatch the Purge series. Moving on from LeBron James, I want to go to Illinois one time. Where my Chicago Africans at? Shout out to all my Chicago Africans who came out to support Dr. Umar at the Bantu Festival the day before yesterday. Where are my Chicago Africans at? Chicago Queens was out there looking fine. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. And shout out to my Miami Queens. Well, my Miami Queens who came out to show Dr. Umar support in Miami Gardens 3 days ago. Miami Queens was looking scrumptious. Miami Queens was looking scrumptious out there with their natural hair. My Chicago Queens looking all fine and beautiful with their natural hair. Y'all showed up and showed out in Miami and Chicago. Y'all showed up and showed out in Miami and Chicago. Y'all showed up and showed out in Miami and Chicago. But here's what I want to talk about. The governor of Illinois just signed a bill. The governor of Illinois just signed a bill authorizing the hiring of police who are not United States citizens. Did y'all hear what I just said, brothers and sisters? Did y'all hear what I just said? We're about to get into this right now. If you live in Illinois, I want you to listen to this. And if you live in a high crime black American city, you better tune in and tune up right now because I'm about to go in. King Kong Consciousness, the #1 black scholar on the planet, #1 Pan-Africanist on the planet, #1 psychologist on the planet, #1 intellectual on the planet. I'm about to go in. The governor of Illinois just signed a bill into law that allows the police departments of the state of Illinois to hire police who are not citizens of the United States. Did you hear what I just said? Did you hear what I just said? Did you hear what I just said? First of all, how is that constitutional? How is that constitutional? How is it constitutional for someone who is not a U.S. citizen to enforce U.S. law on U.S. citizens? Where my black attorneys at? Where my black revolutionary attorneys at? Where my black revolutionary attorneys at? Somebody get Vice President Kamala Harris on the phone. How you doing, beautiful? All right now, gorgeous. Somebody get Kamala Harris. Can somebody get the Congressional Black Caucus on the phone? Where Ben Crump at? Ben Crump, whatever his name is. Somebody get Ben Crump on the phone. Stop robbing the dead. Stop robbing the dead and let's take up a real suit. Ben Crump, we need you to take up a real suit, my brother. Somebody got to explain to me. Somebody got to explain to me how an American city can hire non-citizens to police citizens. Can somebody explain that? Can somebody explain that? I'm simulcasting right now on Facebook at Dr. Umar Ifatunde and Instagram at Dr. Umar Johnson. I'm simulcasting right now. If you can't see me on Instagram, come over to Facebook, Dr. Umar Johnson, 433,000, or is it 443,000 subscribers? Make sure you're on the right page. It's a lot of fake pages. Instagram, Dr. Umar Johnson, 917,000 subscribers. I'm telling y'all why they doing this. I've been telling y'all about the Chicago and New York Purge. I've been telling y'all about the Chicago, New York Purge. I've been telling y'all about the Chicago, New York Purge, brothers and sisters. Well, guess what? This is part of the Purge. We're going to bring anti-African South Americans to Chicago and New York. We're going to bring anti-African South Americans to Chicago and New York. We're going to bring anti-African South Americans to Chicago and New York, and we're going to make them police so they can purge the Africans out. What's going to happen when the first migrant police officer murders a black man? What's going to happen when the first migrant police officer murders a black woman? What's going to happen the first time a migrant police officer murders a black boy? What's going to happen the first time a migrant police officer who is not a U.S. citizen murders a black girl? What's going to happen the first time a migrant police officer murders a black elder? They are bringing them in to purge us. They are purging us socially. They are purging us economically. They are exhausting all of the social resources in these cities. They are stealing millions of dollars from black taxpayers. And on top of all of that, they're going to give them a gun, a badge, and some handcuffs. Can somebody answer me 3 questions? I have 3 questions for the governor of Illinois. I got 3 questions for the governor of Illinois. I got 3 questions for the governor of Illinois. Question number 1, how the hell you going to be a police officer and you don't even speak English? The birds be talking to me, brothers and sisters. I'm telling you, these birds be talking to me every time I come. The birds be here. That's that divine protection from the feminine energy. How is a migrant police officer in Chicago just got to America, don't know the laws or the norms or nothing about America, can't even speak English? How in the hell can he or she be a police officer in a black neighborhood? Can somebody talk to me? The Purge is real. I want everybody to rewatch the Purge movies. Don't pay for it. Get the bootleg. I want everybody to rewatch the Purge series, especially the first Purge. Go and watch the first Purge, brothers and sisters. Tonight, go get you a bootleg copy of the first Purge and rewatch it. They brought outsiders in to exterminate the population in the Purge. They brought outsiders in. They knew they were going to make them police. They are going to do with these migrants the same thing they did in America back in the early 1900s with the Irish. The Irish hated black people. The Irish hated blacks, and they made them police. They weaponized the racism against our community. In the 1900s, when they made the Irish Americans police in the black community, they weaponized the racism that the Irish had for blacks. And now they're going to weaponize the racism that the migrants have for blacks. History is repeating itself, brothers and sisters. History is repeating itself, brothers and sisters. History is repeating itself. How are you going to be a police officer and you can't even speak English? How can you be an officer of the law when you don't know the law? How can you be an officer of the law and you're not even a citizen of the country? How is this constitutional? Chicago, please stand up and fight. Black Chicago, I will come back and fight with you, but y'all can't let this go down. Black Chicago, y'all cannot let this go down. The population of Black Chicago in 1980 was 1.5 million Africans. By 2030, they said it will only be 665,000 Africans. That means they didn't purge more than 50% of us in that time. We losing our U.S. congressional seats to Latinos, migrants, and white folks in Chicago. We got to fight, Chicago. The Chinese is the fastest growing racial group in Chicago. We got to fight, Chicago. Y'all need to go to the state capitol, show up and show out. No way in hell. Y'all better call Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, Urban League, NAACP, Congressional Black Caucus, TD Jakes, Creflo, Klepto, Dollar. Get everybody up there. I'm coming. Somebody need to organize a rally at the Illinois state capitol against this bill. And where are the black state legislators in Illinois? Why didn't we hear your opposition to this? Where are the black state legislators in Illinois? Why didn't we hear your opposition to this? Where are the black state legislators in Illinois? Why didn't we hear your opposition to this? They are bringing migrants in, and now they're going to make them the police to push black people out. They're going to tell the migrants, if you lock them up, you can take their place. Lord have mercy. Isn't it a conflict of interest for a migrant to be a police officer in a black community? Isn't it a conflict of interest for a migrant to be a police officer in Chicago? How is that not a conflict of interest? They're going to come into our community, lock us up, send us to jail, kill us so they can take our place. Have you ever seen a bigger conflict of interest in your life? They're going to empower the migrants to move black people out. Why in the hell do you need migrant police when you got all them black people in the state of Illinois? Illinois is one of the 10 most populous black states in America. Why do you need migrant police officers? Illinois is one of 10 most populous black states in America. Why do you need migrant police? If I tunde 3 times. If I tunde 3 times. If I tunde 3 times. Illinois is top 10 for black population in America. Why do you need migrant police? The only reason you need migrant police is to help the migrants rid Chicago of black people so they can take our place. Lord have mercy. We are at war and we don't even want to acknowledge it. Black America is at war and we don't even want to acknowledge it. But I'm going to get off Illinois for a minute because there's something else on my mind. I want to get off Illinois for a minute because there's something else on my mind. First of all, Attorney Ben Crump, I understand that a settlement was reached between the family of Henrietta Lacks. A legal settlement was reached between the family of Henrietta Lacks through their attorney, Ben Crump, with the company that stole our ancestor Henrietta Lacks' cells when she was going in for some routine cancer surgery. They stole her cells, and from those cells, the evil genius from those cells, they stole from Queen Mother ancestor Henrietta Lacks. The evil genius would go on to create biological weapons, COVID vaccinations, cloning technology. From the cells of Henrietta Lacks, they learned that the black woman is God. I said from the cells of Henrietta Lacks, they learned that the black woman was God. I said from the cells of Queen Mother ancestor Henrietta Lacks, the white power structure learned that the black woman was God. But I want to know what the settlement amount was, Attorney Benjamin Crump. I was looking on, can anybody Google, because I can't find it. Can somebody Google Henrietta Lacks settlement? Because I was looking for a dollar amount. I want to see what Benjamin Crump did for this family. I want to see what Attorney Benjamin Crump did for this family. Can somebody please Google Henrietta Lacks settlement? Can anybody find a dollar amount for me, please? Henrietta Lacks. Her family has finally reached a settlement, brothers and sisters. Historic settlement between the Henrietta Lacks family and the company that stole her cells. Benjamin Crump was the attorney. Can we see the amount? Can anybody find the amount? It's private. This is what I'm going to say. Out of respect for everybody involved. I hope Benjamin Crump got that family their just due. I hope Benjamin Crump got that family their just due. I hope Benjamin Crump got that family their just due. And the reason I'm saying that There's no amount of money that can replace a life. Let me just say that. There's no amount of money that can replace a life. Let me just say that. There's no amount of money that can replace a life. However, when I see the families of unarmed and murdered police victims getting $1 million, I got a problem with that. $2 million, I got a problem with that. $3 million, I got a problem with that. No loss of life settlement should be under 5. In fact, no loss of life settlement should be under 10 mils. So Benjamin Crump is going to have to explain these dismally low loss of life settlements with the police. Don't tell me Henrietta Lacks Family got a couple million. I'm telling you right now, if they got a couple million, Benjamin Crump, you got to retire. If the Henrietta Lacks Family, with all she has meant to modern research, with all Henrietta Lacks' cells has contributed to modern research, for all that was used and done with the cells of Queen Mother ancestor Henrietta Lacks, if that family only got a couple $1 million, then that was a ripoff. Benjamin Crump, please do better, my brother. Benjamin Crump, please do better, my brother. Benjamin Crump, please do better, my brother. Now, I'm going to go to Houston, Texas one time. Where my Texas Africans at? Where my Texas Africans at? I got a problem going down in Houston right now. Where my Texas Africans at? Where my Texas Africans at one time? Houston, Texas. I just read today that in Houston, Texas, the superintendent of Houston Independent School District is closing down the libraries and turning them into discipline rooms. I'm going to say it again. The superintendent of Houston Independent School District is transforming the libraries in 28 schools into discipline rooms. Those schools will no longer have a library. They will have a discipline room. If that ain't school to prison pipeline, what is? If that isn't school to prison pipeline, how the hell you going to turn a library into a baby prison? How the hell you going to turn a library into baby prison? How in the hell can you turn a library into a baby prison? I don't think y'all heard me. He's transforming, changing, shutting down the libraries and laying off the librarians and media specialists in 28 Houston schools. I'm going to say it again. And y'all think we not at war? I'm ready to march on the White House. Who coming with me? Who ready to march on the White House? Who ready to march on the White House? Black man and black woman. Who ready to march on the White House, brothers and sisters? Let's just pull up and show up. Let's just pull up and show up. We're not going to do what they did when they tried to take over the Capitol. We're not doing that. We're going to march. A real million-man march. Not to come listen to a bunch of speeches. I'm talking about a real million-man march. Who ready to march for Rizzle? Who ready to march through the streets of the Capitol, the streets of the White House, the streets of the Supreme Court, the streets of the Library of Congress, the streets of the Department of Justice, the streets of the Department of Education? Who's ready to march through the streets of Homeland Security? I'm talking about a real million-man march where we actually march and not just listen to a bunch of speeches, brothers and sisters. Who ready for a real million-man march? Brothers and sisters, we cannot take this laying down. Brothers and sisters, we cannot take this laying down. Brothers and sisters, if anybody has any ideas on how to combat this, please text me your ideas, brothers and sisters. I do not consider myself greater than my family. If you got an idea of how we can organize, energize, and mobilize for change, text me your ideas, brothers and sisters. I will gladly put them into action. I will gladly put them into action. It's time for an insurrection of Africans in America. It's time for an insurrection of Africans in America. How you going to turn a library into a baby prison? How you going to turn a library into a baby prison, brothers and sisters? How can you do that? How you going to turn a library into a prison for babies? Now check this out. Check this out, family. Check this out. Most black children in Texas are reading beneath grade level. So if most black children in Texas are reading beneath grade level, if most black children in Texas are reading beneath grade level, and you fired the librarians and you shut down the libraries, how they going to improve their reading skills, brothers and sisters? Houston, Texas, y'all better stage a rally. Y'all better show up to the school board. I'm so tired of black people accepting oppression with a smile. I'm so tired of black people accepting oppression with a smile. I'm so tired of black people accepting oppression with a smile. Houston, what are you doing about this? Chicago, what are you doing about that, brothers and sisters? Akron, Ohio, what are you doing about the LeBron James promise school failures? Come on, y'all. Come on. Y'all gonna let the superintendent turn our children's libraries that they need because they can't read? He gonna turn the library into a discipline room. He's laying off the librarians, laying off the media techs, and black America ain't doing nothing about it. Shame on us. Black America isn't doing nothing about it. Shame on us, brothers and sisters. Shame on us. How in the hell can you turn a library into a baby prison? Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. There is an all-out war on African people, and it's time to organize. I need a couple of volunteer lawyers. Do we have any lawyers out there, pro bono lawyers? Lawyers and law students, I need y'all to do a little bit of research. I don't need much. If you are a conscious lawyer, brother or sister, and you're willing to have a confidential relationship with Dr. Umar, I will never tell people who you are. I need some licensed black attorneys. I will never tell people who you are. I need some licensed black attorneys. I will never tell people who you are. But I need some basic research done. If I want to have a march, I want to hold a black man's march in the 20 blackest cities in America. I want to hold a black man's march in 20 cities in America. And I need the lawyers to let me know what permits do I need? What applications do I need? What laws do we need to abide by during our march? If you are an attorney who can dig this up for me, if you are an attorney who can dig this up for me, please reach out to me, please. Please reach out to me, please. Just text me. Brothers, as law students, if you can get that information, if you already know what the protocol is in your city, text, say, Dr. Umar, we had a march. I know exactly how to do it in Houston. Dr. Umar, we had a march. I know how to do it in New York. Dr. Umar, we had a march. I know how to do it in D.C., Baltimore, Oakland, Los Angeles. Dr. Umar, I know how to do the march in Minneapolis, Milwaukee. I know how to do it in Jackson. I know how to do it in Little Rock, Arkansas. I know how to do it in Hartford, Connecticut, in Boston, Massachusetts, in Providence, Rhode Island. I know how to do it in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I know how to do it in Wilmington, Delaware. Brothers and sisters, we got the march on. The marching is not the end. It is the beginning of the revolution. The march is to raise the consciousness of the world that we not taking this shit no more. That's what the march is. The march is propaganda. It's not the revolution. The march is propaganda. It's not the revolution. If you can get me some research, or if you just a brother or sister, look up that information in your city. If we want to march through the city, 1,000 strong plus, because you know they coming out for the Prince of Pan-Africanism. We're going to have children, elders, everybody. If we want to march through the city, 1,000 plus, what applications, what permits, What fees do we have to abide by? We're not going to take this shit laying down. Come on, brothers and sisters. Y'all got to